about a dude, about what he does after the relationship is over. And of course, like hindsight 2020, that's always whenever you find out, right? But one thing that lets you know that the dude that you was dealing with was a narc is if he tries to break you after the relationship. It's not his emotion. It's not that he's heartbroken. It's not that he's sorry or anything like that. Because look, a guy will try to get another chance with you. He'll try to continue things, work things out. If he's a good guy, a decent guy, an evolved man, etc. But when a man is a narcissist and he can't get you back, he can't make you mad. This is not just a phase. This isn't just something that you're just getting some distance from him right now because you and your feelings. He will try to break you. Now, why would he try to do something like that? Of course, because he doesn't want anybody else to have you. Most importantly, it's about what he doesn't want you to have after he's given up on being able to be in a relationship with you. And that's one of the misconceptions, like a narc will never give up on being with you or, never let you go. No, sometimes a narcissist will be with you, and then when it's all over, said and done, you've made it abundantly clear you don't want him, and he understands he cannot have you back. But because of how narcissists tend to see a woman and as an object that belongs to them, their property, they feel some level of entitlement to her well-being for the rest of her life. Like, no, like you're attached to me. You cannot go and be free. But again, it's about what they don't want you to have, not just necessarily they can't have you. And that's peace. That's peace. If you've ever been in a relationship with a person, and I say a narc, by the way, that is something a licensed clinician has to diagnose. We're really talking in the context of somebody who has narcissistic tendencies, and they had a narcissistic relational style of engaging with you. So if you came across a person that was malignant, that was manipulative, that was gaslighting, etc., that's who we're talking about. And after a relationship, all the things that they took from you in the relationship, and now you're looking to regain after the relationship is over, they're going to look to keep that from you by any means necessary. So it can go as far as like abuse or something like that, or it can go to like, oh, I'm going to ruin your reputation. I'm going to continue to call you, overwhelm you. I'm going to try to sabotage anything that you got going on. I'm going to try to find your family and friends, and I'm going to tell them that you was a problem. I'm going to be in your comments section. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do whatever a narc can do to keep you from enjoying what you found without him after the relationship is over. That's what he's going to do. And that's the reason why he's going to try to break you. Again, we talked about this before. Like a lot of women, to move on from a man, they don't have to go find another man. Long as they find peace, they ain't coming back. They're good. And the narc understands that. So as you try to find your peace, he's going to come and try to attack that. Pop-ups at your house. Blow on your phone up. Put I down in the chat if you've ever had this happen. Like, in the relationship, it was one thing. Maybe in the first month or two of there possibly being a chance of reconciliation, it was another thing. But when the relationship was definitely over, you stopped answering the calls. You did not want to hear anything else that he had to say. You had moved on with your life. You didn't care if he moved on with his. You saw a completely different level of the same person that you saw in the relationship. Like, it was bad, but it got really bad. Put I down in the chat if you can relate to that. And this is also one of the reasons a narc will try to get you pregnant. Because if he can get you pregnant, if you can have his baby, guess what? That's access to do exactly that. Keep you from replacing him, whether with another man or with peace, just in your singleness. Yeah. A narc will literally be like, here's one thing I've seen, and I've seen this typically amongst younger women, but it happens. And that's when a lot of y'all get like smitten when a man tells you he wants you to have his baby. Again, let me know if I'm talking to anybody. Put I down in the chat if you've been with a guy that was talking about you having his baby before he was talking about you being his wife. Or about how to rectify the relationship in the ways that it needed to be worked on. Put I down in the chat if you've ever had that. 9 times out of 10, if his focus is on you having this baby, or if he gets offended whenever you're still taking birth control, birth control, or you want him to use some form of male birth control or something like that, you want him to use condoms, whatever the case. If you ever get with a guy and he's stressing that's more important to him than it is the health of the relationship, than it is the longevity of the relationship, than it is the security of the relationship, the things that you've been asking for. If he makes it seem like, once you have this baby, then these things can fall into place, that man is likely trying to hook you. We know about hooking when it comes to the dating scene. Another way, and I don't think I hear enough people talk about this, that a man will try to hook you for the long term, a narcissist especially, and a narc especially, is he will try to get you pregnant. A lot of times you see this in abusive relationships where a woman just stays pregnant over and over and over and over again. And a lot of times what that narc is trying to, this is also why narcs will slip a condom off with a woman while he's sleeping with her. It ain't just for the physical pleasure, but again, to try and hook, because how a narc feels is, if I can get her to have my baby, it ain't no getting rid of me. I'll always have access to her. Even if I don't physically have access to her, by way of the child, in the way that I can influence the child, I'll have access to her. So she'll always continue to be mine. Now, why will the narc do this? Why will the narc go and make a baby or anything like that? Of course, we understand that for a woman, the responsibility is a lot of times on y'all. Y'all are taking the risk with your life whenever you give birth to a baby and all of that. But a narc understands his character will never be the reason why you stay with him. Once you see the real him, once the mask falls off, after the love bombing, after the gaslighting, it's only going to be one or two reasons why you stay with him. That's either going to be the trauma bonded soul tie that keeps you attached, maybe because you dated from a place of a void and you dated while you was broken, or he was just able to establish that over a long time and get you hooked, or a baby. You got children together, you got a child together, so it's going to be a level of dependence, whether it's a baby or not, but some level of dependence, either a trauma bond or dependence, okay? And a lot of times the narc understands that, well, the trauma bond is going to get broken. She may come to her senses, she loves herself enough. There's YouTubers and books and all of these things that can pour into you, make things crystal clear to where you finally take that step out at some point. So get a baby involved. Now she got to go to child support court. Now she can't have a relationship with a guy because I'm always trying to antagonize her and pop up, and I want to see my child, and I'm going to threaten her reputation with that she's a deadbeat mom or, keeping me from my child. Now she got to go explain this to the children, the things that I'm putting in the children's head. Yeah, that whole, I want you to have my baby, that is not some type of romantic, charming thing to be told if the man isn't prioritizing first and foremost the health and the well-being of the relationship that'll create the environment for you and that child. Because a narc understands if he can get you pregnant, that's going to increase your dependence on him. At least that's what's going on in his mind. Physically, you're going to be dependent in the time that you're pregnant or somebody, and financially, you're going to be dependent. That's why those of y'all who are trying to co-parent with a narc, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. Again, let me know if I'm talking to anybody. Put I down in the chat. Vouch for me if I'm telling facts. Those of y'all who are trying to co-parent with a narc, have they in some shape, form, or fashion tried to use the fact that you wanted a healthy co-parenting relationship against you? Have they toyed with that? Have they tried to use that as a way to get back into your life for the relationship? Have they used that as a way to guilt trip you for what you did in the relationship? Have they used that as a way, because maybe you don't care about the narc, but you definitely care about that child. Have they tried to use that child in the times that y'all have conflict against you, to bring you distress, to bring you problems, to consume you? Seeing some eyes down in the chat. So be very wary about that. It's another tool for a narc to use to try and break you after the relationship. Again, good, solid dudes, and I'm saying good, but I'm not really talking about, I don't like good and bad. I don't like those descriptors of a man because I feel like it really comes down to developed or underdeveloped, evolved or unevolved. But men with good intentions will try again after a relationship. They'll break down and cry and all that kind of stuff. That's not what separates the evolved, what have you. But an evolved man is going to spend time, once it's clear that you don't want anything to do with it, he's going to spend more time and focus on himself so he doesn't keep repeating the same mistakes. Now, I know a lot of y'all are tired of being the training ground for that man, and he wants to evolve after the relationship is over. Like, that don't really do you no good. And you don't have to be the place that the man evolves. You don't have to. Now, some people are, but you don't have to. There are already evolved men out here who have already been through that with somebody else, or they got mentors so they didn't have to go through it with somebody else, or they got modeled a healthy relationship and a healthy version of manhood so they didn't have to go through it with somebody else. There are already evolved men, ready-made right now, that are looking for a woman. And I always mention this because every time that I talk about this, I guess it seems like the only kind of guys out here are narcissists, horrible, malignant, or whatever, just bad, manipulative guys, the most horrible guys ever. And that's not the truth. That's not the case. There are truly evolved men out here who have already done the work, who have already grown up in the ways that they need to grow up, in a way that helps them protect the family, to protect the woman, and beyond just the physical, on an emotional level. But the issue is, as much as y'all think y'all can't find them and they're so hard to find, they're not able to find y'all. A lot of women have no idea how to position themselves for a truly evolved man. I ain't talking about just his pockets. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about who he is internally, his character, his integrity, his growth, his development, his mindset. Those men are looking for the exact same thing from an evolved woman. And most women don't know how to position themselves to be found by that. Now, if you want more on that conversation, the 7 steps, the 7 keys to attracting a truly evolved man from the inside out, I talk about that in the free masterclass I did, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You, where you can choose from evolved men. You don't have to worry about just one guy, wait for just one guy to find you eventually whenever God says so. No, faith without works is dead. You have to be able to put yourself in position to attract the evolved man. Now, if you want more info on that, if you want those gems, again, it's absolutely free. Click the link that you see pinned right here down in the comments. I put the comment right here. Click that link, get access to the free masterclass. Go ahead and register before it comes down. Again, it's absolutely free, where I talk about the secrets to making evolved men crave you. So you don't have to be the one that they evolve with. You don't have to be the one that's training them for the next woman. You don't have to be the one getting burnt out, being somebody, I don't know, the hazing process, so they can go and cross the line with somebody else. Like, you can get a man who's already evolved and already done the work, especially if you're a woman that's also evolved. And the link is also in the caption whenever you back out. But moral of the story is this: you can tell a lot about a man and how he handles a breakup with you. And for those of y'all thinking, should I give my ex another shot? Should I do this, that, and the other? Or a guy from the past has come back? You have guys that'll, try to step up. You have guys that'll beg. You have guys that'll try to bait you back in, try to make you mad, try to get a rise out of you. But one thing that lets you know that man is a narcissist, and there's really little to no hope in that, as far as you're concerned, there is no hope, is if he tries to break you after, if he tries to break you mentally, definitely if he tries to break you physically, financially, spiritually. And he can only do that if he has access to you. And there are some narcs who will get access by any means necessary, even by way of a child. So be careful. And if you're currently single, your slate is clean, you're all done with that, now it's just time for you to get in position for an evolved man, so you can break the cycle. Again, I talk about that on the masterclass, Secrets to Making Evolved Men Crave You. That's pinned down here at the bottom. The link right here that you guys see in that comment. And it's also in the caption whenever you back out. Do not miss access to this, because it's coming down soon. But y'all share this if you got anything from this live stream. If you got anything from this conversation, share this right now for somebody else in your timeline who also might need to hear it. And don't forget to get access to the free masterclass. I'll let you